People think everything's dead in the winter, and it's not true. If you think about when a lot of plants go to seed, it's in the fall, which means they can at least survive a winter, but many of them over millennia have evolved to really require winter periods. They're doing a really important part of their life cycle. So that's why we do all of this in the winter. Even those bags feel heavy this time of year.
I know. Winter muscles.
Use the frozen water. Less frozen than last week. A couple volunteers are going to show up soon. We're going to start by writing a bunch of labels and filling some pots with soil, and then we're going to seed them. I love this ecology term around things that produce a lot of offspring. That's called the doomed surplus. Plants, fish, frogs, things like that. So we try to mimic what the seed needs in nature to germinate and to grow as best as it needs, with removing the things that will kill a seed or a plant.
Like a couple really cold days and then like everything else is warm.
Plants are the thing that turns energy, light energy, into energy that can be used by things that can't take in light energy. Something like 90% of insects are specialized to only feed on plants that they've evolved with. So that's native plants. And if that's where the blockage is, then there's no energy moving up the food chain. For me, there's a lot of hope in the fact that the small actions that you can do with plants can help change that and help really bring back life.
Things that you've been looking at about.
Different species, because they're adapted to a northern climate, have grown to have really thick seed coats. So they really need a winter to break down and germinate in the spring.
We're kind of doing what the plants we're working with are doing, which feels really nice. Or it's like they're kind of slowing down and like looking inward and like putting all their energy into this really tiny, small, meaningful part of their structures. So it's kind of nice to be.
We are the plants.
Yeah, you're like sharing that kind of pace of life with the plants.
I find people, especially people that I know that work desk jobs that aren't driven by the sun and the climate, like what they do is not dependent at all on what is happening outdoors, tend to struggle with change and adapting. Plants have taught me a lot about that. Humans go through change seasonally as well. Plants remind me that I'm also an animal, and especially working jobs like this, I'm an animal that's dependent and has to be connected and aware of the weather and what's happening outside. The thought that like winter is ugly is based on people not experiencing it. We lead these 4-season walks where I pick a place that I like and I take groups out there 4 times a year. To get to have a connection to a place, it helps to experience it in all of its seasons.
In terms of ecology, goldenrods are a keystone species because they support lots of different wildlife.
They're very pro not doing garden cutbacks in the fall. And one of those reasons is because insects use them. Another reason is all these seeds are also food for a whole bunch of things throughout the winter. I love that I get to shift what I'm doing. The seasons in the winter forces me to do something different.
Plants don't want to just keep growing for the sake of growing. They need time to slow down, and it's nice to kind of look to the plants and be reminded that like this is actually the natural way of things.